Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Listen, what is this day? Something that I tell you all the time. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Listen, y'all are getting in on a hot conversation that already started, right? Along this way, I say this all the time, right? Along this journey we call life, we encounter people who actually become family. And I mean, I love that I have extended family, extended in culture, in places, and environments. And you get to hear some conversation between me and my friend Chris. My family from Cameroon. Y'all, look, every time I went over their house, they try to feed me. Now, listen. Food is always good, plentiful, bountiful. And I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about when you nurture, when you embrace, when you bring people in as family. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Miss Ray. How are you?
I'm good. We were talking about some hot stuff, wasn't we? We was going in. We were going in, right?
Yeah, we're right
Yes.
into the conversation. And before we get started, I
Uh-huh.
still want to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Chris. That means so much. It does. It really do. Like, really, people don't understand. And I say this really. We really should give people their flowers while they can smell them. It really is an encouragement. It's an uplifter and things of that nature to just let somebody know that you really care, that you think about them, that you appreciate them, and that you just want to see them even in a better space. So I really do thank you for those birthday wishes.
You're
Hmm.
welcome. So I just want to wish you, let's say, may this new year, in your life overflow
Yes.
with divine favor, endless joy, and unstoppable breakthrough. You are
Yes.
destined for greatness, and
Ooh.
every step you take will lead you closer to your purpose. May
Yes.
wisdom guide your choices, strength uphold your dreams, and peace fuel your heart. Keep
Mm,
shining your light. The world needs more of your energy,
mm.
your kindness, and your courage. Happy
Wow.
birthday.
Now that's a
Cheer up to the
birthday
new
wish.
chapter of blessings, growth, and victory.
I receive. Now that there is a birthday wish. I tell you. Ooh, I like that. Because you know what? It may be the day I was born, but you're absolutely right. It's a whole year in front of me. And
Yeah, it
so
is.
speaking into that year is amazing. And Chris, that's what we were talking about too. We were talking about the differences in cultures and embracing family. And I really, one of the things that I gleaned from your family and bringing me and my daughter in as family is how you guys are so loving, how you are so connecting. And just like you were saying, families have their quarrels or whatever. That's common relationship. But when you're able to supersede that and still be able to be a blessing, to impart, to impact, that's what you bring. And that's what I believe that that you've gotten from living in Africa, that you guys are family oriented, and you come to the U.S. and that's kind of not what you see. It's we were talking even about the houses, the land, and the taxes. What were you
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, so what I was saying is this: the difference between Africa and, Africa as a continent, because there are many countries in
Right,
Africa,
right.
but they all operate the same, right?
Hmm.
Like in Africa, we have great values. It's not about money or whatever, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have that genuine love around you, you'll be lonely,
Yeah.
you'll be sad. And it's every in Africa, it's every woman's pride, to say my husband. The same
Hmm.
like a man's pride to say my wife. Because your opinion is more value in the society when they know you are a stable man.
Ooh, that's a worth word
Yeah.
right there. That right there was about
Yeah.
worth a lot of money. What you just said. Hmm.
Yeah. When they know you're a stable person. But if you're the type who's just like jumping around, you don't have a home per se. When they say home, I mean wife and kids, you can't stand anywhere and say anything. Like for instance, if you've not noticed, in some places when somebody wants to speak, they say you got kids. You said no, they say okay, move. You can't say anything
Ooh.
meaningful. Of course, because they know that when you are a family-oriented person, you will say things that are constructive to the society, not just any nonsense that comes across your mind. Okay, Now, we value family a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but the only problem we have back home is the fact that the political leaders, they are all selfish,
Mm-hmm.
self-centered. That's why you see people ruling for years, rigging elections to stay in power, because they are there to serve their own personal interests instead of serving the people.
Right.
So whatever resources the country has, they keep it to themselves. They don't want others to benefit from it.
And
And
so that's why this is just my personal opinion. I think that's why a lot of times, like you said, because of the government reign, that people maybe in other countries, whether it be Africa or any other country, kind of buy into that America is the land of the free. Only coming over to realize, in my opinion, and you can tell me best because it is your experience, only coming over, and yeah, there are some freedoms, but I mean, I know that I'm limited in my knowledge because I've never been to Africa, but doing any studies and things of that nature, just understanding that your land is rich, ours is not. Our soul is made of blood. You know what I mean? I'm like, you have mangoes growing that you're not taxed on, you can pull and eat. We're paying for something that naturally grows. Like we were talking earlier, we're paying house taxes that we're paying taxes on a house that we believe or is told that we quote unquote own, but skip on some of those tax payments and it's given to the next person, or you pass away, it's given to your children. It's really a bondage. It's not so much as the land of the free. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, in Africa, whatever property you own is yours.
Mm.
Right. Even if you want to pay taxes, it's just going to be something very small. A lot of people don't even do that. They don't even pay taxes, but it remains your house. And if you pass away, it's given on to your kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Automatically, they take ownership of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whereas here, it's not the case, because here, when they say you've bought a house, right? You remember, you're still paying property taxes, you're still paying HOA dues.
Mm-hmm.
Skip any of those payments, they foreclose on you.
Yeah.
The house is gone. That's something I was wondering before buying a house. I was wondering about, why do people keep on selling houses? Why don't they give it to their kids, their great grand? And that's when I bought mine and I started seeing those taxes and the HOA dues. I understood, oh my goodness, it's an unending bill.
Yeah.
You will keep on paying and paying and paying and paying. That's why in Africa, you don't see the wealthy travel or relocate to come and stay here. No, they just come for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, they go then back home. Because really, it feels good to see people walking on the street, to see people talking together. But here, you don't do that. When you just see
No.
somebody walking on the street, you're like, oh, hold up,
You
who's
don't
that
even know
coming?
your neighbors here, really.
Yeah, you're like, hold up, who's that? I'm suspecting this person. You're already scared because
Mm-hmm.
of the kind of things you've seen on TV. And recently, I've been seeing some crazy things recently on TikTok.
Yeah.
Somebody say, a child was falling from a building. A passerby caught that child from falling,
Mm-hmm.
and they sue him.
Yeah, I saw that. I also saw something about a guy who saved a young lady from getting hit. Like he saw her car coming,
Yeah,
jumped
I
in
saw that.
front of her, and now she's suing him for something like inappropriate behavior or sexual.
Yeah,
And it's like,
because
what?
somebody saved your life for you to even thank the person you're rather suing. That is crazy. We don't
But
have that
this is a
anymore.
land of money. It's about how can we get money? How can we turn even a positive situation into a money bank? Like, how can I capitalize on this? Because that's the mindset of the Western civilization. It's how can we capitalize on something? But again, for our own selfish gain as well, it's like we have been taught to believe that money is power, that money is riches. However, like you were just saying, family is riches. Family is wealth. Legacy is wealth. Togetherness is wealth. Support is wealth. But we have just been mind warped to believe that the wealthy is the powerful, and we keep putting people or keep making this the norm when it really isn't. You hear people with money say that, of course, more money, more problems. You have people who have money who are unaliving themselves because that money isn't keeping them happy.
Yes, a lot of depression. Why? Because when you look at the people around you, you're constantly on your guard.
Hmm.
It's like everybody around you is after you for something.
Yeah.
And it's true because we've seen situations where a lot of families are broken.
Yeah.
Why are they broken? Because people are so greedy. They just want money, money, money instead of the family well-being. That's
Yeah.
why you see the divorce rate in this country is so high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's focused on what the bag. And I
Mm.
always hate that word. I always hate the people are not really like conscious of their actions. They value money over
People.
humanity, over people, over
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah.
Just like the situations we're talking about where somebody saved you from an accident and you're suing him for money. Trust me, when people see that, they feel like it has become risky to save people.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
whatever is happening to you, I don't care. I just stand there and watch.
Yeah.
And guess what? The same people who come online and say, "Couldn't you save the person? Couldn't you do this?" But why will he do that when he knows that he's going to be sued later on for saving you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But
Because that scares me a lot.
but
I'm
that's
the
the
kind of person
thing.
who likes to help, but when I see those kind of things, trust me, I'm not going
It
to do
does.
that.
It makes you leery, but that's the thing though, because what happens is, going to a spiritual perspective, the enemy is only able to really wage a bigger war if he separates individual. So the more that he keeps pumping into our minds that we don't need other people, or that, like you said, humanity is lost, or it's not about being together. It says, what is it? It's a saying or something. Divided we stand. No, what? United we
Oh,
stand. Divided we fall.
before,
So the
yeah.
more that it's separate, that we begin to move away from empathy or compassion or having genuine thoughts of helping or hands-on helping. We saw this at COVID. We had to stay 6 feet away from people, right? And understandably so to a degree because it was a medical thing. However, they've done studies, Chris, and with babies. I don't know what year it was, but there were studies of babies who were in the nursery, and though it was a few babies or whatever that were held by nurses and caressed and things of that nature, and then other babies who were left to cry by themselves without any natural touch and things of that nature. Those children began to grow up with callousness, with other issues, even some physical issues. But the ones who were nurtured and touched and cared for, of course, they thrived. And so, what I believe society is doing is the more that we can disconnect from each other, the more that we're insensitive to people's problems, the more callous we become, the more loveless we become. And then, but it's the very core nature as to how we were born. We were born innately to receive love, nurture, encouragement, support. And when we don't get those things, of course, our our animal nature comes in.
Mhm.
It's just like we that connectivity begins to be burdened by all of those other things, and then we begin to think that we're our own island. But no man is an island and no man stands alone. We really do need each other.
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's heartbreaking though, because like you said, and I say this, I do, and I have to I live by my own words, that of course people are going to be peopling, and don't let them change the core nature and character of who you are, because that is who God made you to be. He made you to be that way. What we have to do is we just have to have wisdom. I know a lot of people in my past, Chris, that are just like you. Honestly, they're givers. They love to give. And it's not a bad thing, right? Because it's fine, but we just have to be wise, because givers have to know when not to give, right? Because takers are always going to take. So it's okay to be kind. I tell people all the time, I'm not nice, I'm kind. And they look at me and like, what do you mean? And I'm like, being nice is being people pleasing. Being nice is
Mhm.
trying to get the attention of someone, or making someone like you, or you want to fit in, or things of that nature. Being kind says, I'm going to be wise and saving and understanding my own self-care and emotional being, and not give it away when I either don't have it, or a person has shown me with their behavior patterns they are not worthy of receiving it.
Oh, definitely. And if tomorrow you encounter some financial challenges, those same people you've been given to will be the ones to say, "Oh, you know what? He or she didn't manage his or her money well."
Yes.
They start blaming you. insulting you.
Or
You,
Chris, here's
you
the
see
ones
that?
I get. I used to get this, oh girl, I'm gonna pray for you because I know the power of prayer. You a praying woman, pray. And I'm like, but did you pray when I just gave you your rent money? Like, you know what I mean? It's like I used to get that all the time. Like, honestly, if I was going through something, really, literally, people would. I don't want to say throw it in my face, but it would come, my faith would come back to me. And they're like, well, you're a praying woman, girl. You know, God always comes through. And I'm like, yes, but God comes through using his vessels, people who are willing to be his hands, his feet, his eyes, to be able to help you. So yeah, God is going to do it. But he's going to use people who are submissive to him to do it. So you're telling me you don't submit to God to be one of the people that he can use to help me in whatever my need is. Oh, I'm not going to lie, Chris. They used to burn me up. Don't tell me to pray about it. I already prayed about it. I tell you, the things and the people that we encounter and we endure, I tell you, in this land of living. But it's comical, though. Sometimes it can just be funny. You have to sit back. And I thank you for the word that you gave me earlier when I was saying what I experienced this morning. Just somebody yelling and things of that nature for like no reason. Who knows, right? But the fact of the matter is, that's just going to be how that person is. We don't have to join them. Like I was saying to you, if you
You
see
don't.
two people arguing, you won't know which one's the fool.
Oh yeah, definitely. You see, you're going to encounter people with crazy attitudes. Well, like I said, they might be going through some issues and they're just transferring aggression. But you
Yeah.
don't have to take it personal. Just go about your business and ignore them because the moment you start giving in or the moment you start arguing with them, you find yourself saying some crazy things that will make you feel bad later on.
Yeah.
Why? Because you have a conscience.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
And you will find yourself like, you know what? I'm just so troubled about this. Let me go and apologize. It wasn't your fault in the first place because he started it,
Right.
but it became your fault the moment you started responding with the same energy.
Yes.
He came
Yes.
with negativity, you jumped into it. So it's always a good thing to avoid that in order not to put yourself in a compromising position. I always avoid that. I just shut down and I look at you. I don't respond. You feel like I'm stupid. I'm not stupid because it's you don't respond to everything.
Absolutely.
There are,
Absolutely.
there are certain things you just listen and keep quiet. It doesn't mean you're stupid.
And you have to
You're
be
just
intentional
wise.
about that. And sometimes for some people it comes easy, Chris, and sometimes some people have to like work to that place because, you know, and you again, I know that, you know a lot of things when it comes to I want to say engineering or kinetics or things of that nature. It
Yeah.
a negative is a powerful force. It really is. It will draw you, whether it be a battery. I'm thinking scientifically. Negative batteries draw energy. It does, right? Because it needs it for its power. And so sometimes, like, that positive person around that negative energy, you have to be intentional about saving your positive energy because it will consume you and draw you in. And like you said, it's best that if nothing else before responding, you shut down, right? And not really necessarily shut down, but you operate in self-control. And it is so important to save your energy because that is what the enemy is going to do anyway. He wants to drain the life out of you, and by doing so, he'll just continue to nag at you or to cause negative things to happen. But you have to be able to kind of stand your ground and go, okay, you know what? I'm going to be intentional about not going to that level. Yeah, I can't stand that saying, oh, I'm going to match your energy. If your energy is not positive, I'm not matching your energy. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, definitely. And if we think about what James 1:19 says, I think let me just take the last verse. He said everyone should be quick to listen and
Mm,
slow to become angry.
yeah.
Now, that person, because normally this verse is actually reminding us that wisdom comes from understanding before responding.
Mm-hmm.
When you listen more, it allows you to learn to show sympathy and also to avoid things
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
anger or to avoid saying things in anger or to haste what we might later regret, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. This person will just start yelling and talking. You just keep quiet and you listen. Some just speak out of frustration.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah.
speak out of. I remember this. We are still at the beginning of the month, which means people just paid bills, and some still have pending bills to pay. and maybe they are not able to figure out where to get that, and they are just like frustrated and they want to pour that on you. So
Yeah.
I always prefer to just stay quiet, listen. When you're finished, I go. And
Yeah.
some people, whenever they do that and they see you the next day, they'll say, "Oh, brother, I want to apologize for the way I spoke to you last time." You see, that's somebody who has conscience because
Yeah.
they'll go and sit back and they'll say, "But I was talking, this person wasn't responding. What did I say wrong?" And they'll
Mm-hmm.
realize themselves and come back and say and apologize. But imagine that person was like spitting out all the things they were spitting and you jumped right into it. You just
Yeah.
be you just be messing up yourself, messing up your inner mind, messing up your peace. So I prefer to always be quiet.
One of the things that I remind myself and others who may need this reminder, you can never beat the enemy at his game. You can't fight him on the ground that he owns. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot go into his camp to fight him the way that he fights you, because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities and wickedness in high places. So therefore, we have to do things in the spirit. So, like you said, when someone's going off and they're spewing ill things and negative things, we have to remember that we are human beings. We're in a body, but our body houses soul and spirit. And sometimes it's off in these individuals, and you may get when their soul and spirit is off, but know and understand that we operate out of a spiritual nature. So it helps to show and define what you're dealing with when you see the actions and behaviors of some people. And like you said, sometimes you may just secretly or silently have to just pray for them. Lord, I ask that you change their spirit. I ask that you deal with their spirit, that you arrest those things in them that would cause them to act that way. But what I'm grateful for is that that is not how we interact. And I thank you even for your time to have a conversation with me on this phone, because you was just trying to do something else. But
Mhm.
but I'm glad that we were able to spend this time and people got a chance to hear how our conversations go with my brethren Chris, y'all. And listen, I need y'all guys to stay tuned, because there'll be the fact of the matter and there'll be more good music right here on D.O.D Radio Network. Why? Because this is the station for your best self, your best life. It's best radio. That part, and say that we're out.